Hey guys, just thought I'd do a quick update on the Tamiya British Army 6-pounder anti-tank gun interim project, which I've been doing ever since I started back in December. The gun itself I haven't done a lot on, to be honest with you, because obviously work, life, etc., as we all know in the modelling community, tends to get in the way. However, about a week ago I actually managed to get the diorama base done, so I thought I'd show you an update on that, and here it is. I'll just give it a quick whirl on the front here, if I can get it on the table here. There we go. As you can see, it is well and truly done. I started back on this in around about, as I say, December, and this is how far we got now. The actual lane that I depicted from a photograph, a fellow modeller had actually shown me as a basis for a diorama, is done, as you can see here. It was down a sort of a Normandy country lane, as it were, which I think I've authentically replicated. The actual frame itself was from Poundland, believe it or not. And then basically what I did after that was mask it off with some I think gap tape or gaff tape, and then just basically put down a layer of non-crack polyfiller and let that dry for about 24 hours. Once that was done, I then basically laid down some Woodland Scenics ballast, medium ballast, which I've actually got in a canister here if I can find it. Prepared as always for a video. You know what I'm like. Where the devil have I put it? Hang on, I just had it in my hand a minute ago. I'm forever putting stuff down and losing it. Here we go. This is the stuff. When the Scenics ballast, I mean, a lot of railway modelers tend to use this for track ballast, etc. on railway lines, but to be honest, from the photograph depicted, it was like a sort of rough country road lane, as it were, and I think I've authenticated that very well. Anyway, once that was dry after a further 24 hours, I basically primed it with some black UMP primer, or as it was subcontracted, which is the ordinary Steiner as it were. In overall, well, no, actually I didn't do that. Was the next thing, beg your pardon, I'm getting ahead of myself here, was the tree here. Now, this was made by a company called MK35. This is it. And the actual set number is A050. I actually got this on eBay via a seller about a couple of years ago, actually. It's been sitting away in my stash for about 2 years. All it is just a resin tree stump, okay? And then obviously you've got the foliage, which is a little bit loose in it. Now, it does stink a little bit. It smells a little bit musty, but it doesn't. Then once it's painted, you get rid of that mustiness. But I basically applied that to the base and then primed everything with UMP black, okay? And then the next process was basically to put the base colours down, which was XF, Tamiya XF57 buff, which is this one here, okay, for the road track. And then either side for the sort of a guide layout for where the edge of the fields and the actual hedgerow, as it were, was going to go. I basically sprayed XF58 olive green from Tamiya, okay. Once those were all dry, it was a case of painting up the tree here. The first colour I actually used on the actual stump, the tree stump itself, was XF10 flat brown from Tamiya, okay. And then just basically clear coated it, and then went over with a dark dirt wash, which was Florey's dark dirt wash, to give the outline of the tree stump, as it were. And then the final process was basically trying to glue all the foliage in with some super glue. Now, as you saw from the last update, when I actually put the tester's dull coat on it, there was a reaction with the super glue, and it looked sort of turned white. It looked as though a bird had absolutely had a good almighty crap on it. So basically I went over it all again in the same process as you can see here, and unlike last time I haven't actually matte coated it this time. I basically did the same process again, put the brown down in the affected areas again, and then went over with dark wash again, and then once that was done the excess was wiped off, and then basically highlighted it with, you know, Tamiya buff just to outline the actual surface texture, as it were, which has come out like a shiny pen, and I'm very happy with the result. And then I was just added all the foliage, but obviously before that I again airbrushed it in XF58, and then just basically added all the tree stumps, which took the best part of 3 days, to the actual tree stump itself, and it does give a very effective finish. It's very lifelike actually. So I've got another one of these in my stash again, which I'll probably use for a future diorama at some time. But to be honest, considering the photograph I saw, this is a very, very accurate representation of it. Now, the actual flock was used as the hedgerow, which was woodland scenic sort of clumps flock. I was going to use something else, but this had more of the basis of the colour and the texture, which was better. And then obviously at the sides here, I added the Warhammer, was it Warhammer.net, do a series of grass clumps, which is just basically base down, take the backing off and just stick them down, as it were. So that's giving you the rough texture of a sort of a wild field, as it were, because obviously during the Second World War they weren't maintained or anything like that, because obviously with everything going on. And then where are we? Where's the stuff? Put it at the back here. Yeah, it's done by a company called, no, it's not Warhammer, it's warpainter.net, which you got there. So look them up. And they are actually on eBay as well. They do green grass stumps, flowers, as you can see here, which I've added as well to give it the wild flowers, because this is in sort of around about sort of June, July, August 1944, during the Normandy campaign. And it's given off a really realistic effect. In fact, I've added a few sort of wild clumps on the actual roadway, as it were, and then obviously the final little stumps, just to give it a little colour variation, etc., which I added, were from, hang on, where did I put the other packet? A company called Greenline. I think they're based in Germany. Again, you can see where the email address is on here. If I can get it to get into single shot, you can look them up on that website there, or alternately look them up on eBay. Okay, that's basically all these sort of lighter grass stumps, as it were. It was just giving it a little bit of variation and interest, as it were, you know. And all told, it's really come up like a shiny new penny. And I'm not kidding you. I mean, I've not done many dioramas, but I'm certainly becoming a dad hand at them. And I'm extremely happy with the tail end results, as it were. So I just thought I'd give you a quick sort of update as on per se the diorama. So that's where we're at the moment. I mean, the next process I've got to do is basically to get all the figures painted, finish the detail painting on the figures and the ammunition, and then it's a case of clear coating everything, which I will be doing, and then obviously adding pigments to the wheels, etc., and then a slight dusting of buff on the actual gun itself, and then adding some probably UMP washes actually to give it that dusty effect, and a few pigments. So, and then it's a case of matte coating all that, and then applying it to the base, and then I shall be doing the final reveal. That could be this week or the following week, we shall see. Because my work schedule this week, I'm not going to get any time on the bench, because I've got to work through the weekend. and like a friend of mine who's actually going off to Iceland for the first time in her life. So I envy her, actually, to be honest. In one respect, I wish I was going with her, because I've been told that Iceland is a fantastic place to visit. So there you go. Yeah, all told, very happy with this, and I don't think it's too long before this project is going to be completed. And to be honest, this is going to be the last of my builds from 2018, although it's now 2019. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I will speak to you very soon. Cheers.